Look, another feminist who doesn't really have a point to make. She just rambles on about things that really have nothing to do with feminism. In the mind of a lot of regressives, everything is feminism, whether it actually has anything to do with equal rights for women or not. Everything falls into the same massive basket, whether it makes any sense or not. That way, when you disagree with them on anything, they can call you a misogynist because nobody wants to be one of those, do they? So, yeah. Let's see how far we can stomach this one before we have to pull the plug.
Bonnie. I've taken off my glasses for the purposes of this video, but don't you get any ideas about me changing my look. It's because of the glare.
Nobody cares about your look. It's the quality of your ideas, not the way you look, that matters. At least unless you're horribly shallow and stupid, and hey, who the heck knows, maybe that's what your audience is. But that's not something to be proud of, though.
So today I wanted to talk about feminism.
Of course you did. That's the only reason anyone pays any attention to you. But I bet you're going to get it all wrong, aren't you?
And I want to talk about feminism in the first world, specifically.
Oh, come on. That's really all any American feminists ever talk about, at least seriously. Yeah, they might bring up the third world in passing, but usually they're only concerned with themselves. They have no real-world solutions for actual oppression suffered by women in other countries. So, you talk about yourselves and how horrible your ridiculously privileged lives are. Cry me a fucking river.
This is going to take twice as long because I can't read without my glasses.
Then put your goddamn glasses on. You already said you took them off. Put them on. Jeez, are you that stupid?
There is a group of people who are especially vocal on the internet who say that feminism is not a first world problem. To me, this is obviously ridiculous.
Nobody says that. In fact, you can go to pretty much any major feminist channel on YouTube and find exactly the opposite. All they want to talk about is feminism in the first world. They only care how feminism affects them. They don't care about some poor woman in the Middle East who was just genitally mutilated or got raped by a Muslim rape gang, or who can't drive a car or get a job and whose life is totally controlled by either her father or her husband. Those aren't people first world feminists care about, at least not enough to spend their time focusing on their plight. Instead, it's the imaginary wage gap or how sexist air conditioning is. Fuck you, feminists. Fuck you.
I don't see a reason why, because I was born in the United States, I should not have equal rights.
And you do. Congratulations. Now go focus on people for whom that isn't the case.
I am never going to be the least fortunate person in the world.
You're not even close. Why are you so worried about yourself? I mean, seriously, self-centered much?
It seems ridiculous to me that I should wait until my needs are at the very bottom of Maslow's hierarchy before I can address them. I think that's an absurd idea.
Okay, let's look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which was designed by Abraham Maslow, a psychologist, in 1943. It is, from bottom to top, a chart of things that people need to be fulfilled, starting with the most basic to the most advanced. At the bottom is physiological, things like food and water and air. Our privileged feminist here has got all that. Let's move on. Next comes safety, which means security, and whether Western feminists like it or not, they live in some of the most consistently safe and secure countries on the planet. Then we have belonging, which is having a family and friends. Our feminist here doesn't have a lot of followers, but I assume she has at least a family and some friends somewhere. Therefore, I don't think she has anything really to be concerned about. Following that is esteem, and this is where a lot of regressives have problems because they seem to genuinely hate themselves. But that's their problem and it's their responsibility to fix. And finally, at the top of the pyramid, we get self-actualization, which includes morality and problem-solving, things like that. But also lack of prejudice and acceptance of facts. Those are two things feminists and indeed most of the regressive left are sorely lacking. But as I said, They seem to really hate themselves, and that's their problem. They're also pretty lazy. They don't want to get off their asses and fix anything. They just want to sit on YouTube or Tumblr and whine about how bad they have it. Yeah, go tell that to the women in the Middle East who just got beaten, raped, and killed. Tell them how bad off you are.
So because I specialize in biology, a lot of people leave comments for me saying that gender inequality oversteps its bounds because there are physiological differences between men and women. And clearly that's true. I mean, between men, women, and everything in between and everything outside and everything on a different scale, there are physiological differences.
Now, to her credit, at least she acknowledges that there are physiological differences, unlike some who claim that there's no such thing as biological sex, that everything is societal and nothing is genetic. Those people are idiots. I will skip her list of differences because they are, as you might expect, woefully incomplete and a bit ridiculous.
My main issue is the perception of gender by society and traditional gender roles. I don't have a problem with women wearing skirts and dresses or being housewives or wearing their hair long. I don't care. I don't care if men want to mow lawns and make dad jokes and bodybuild and be tough guys. That's not my concern.
Nobody cares what you have an issue with. You do what you want to do and let everyone else do what they want to do. It's that easy. People have a right to do what they want to do, but they also have to understand that there are consequences to their actions, and it's the consequences that you don't like.
My concern is that people don't think critically about what they want. They don't think about why they want something. I think that for me, that's more important than what I want, why I want it.
And that's actually a good point. People often don't think critically about what they want. However, they forget that nobody's obligated to make them feel good about their choices or make special concessions to help them get what they want. If you want to be a firefighter, well, there's requirements in place to be a firefighter. Either you meet those requirements or you go find another job. Your feelings on the matter are irrelevant. Your biological shortcomings don't earn you special treatment.
One of my biggest issues with the societal perception of gender is the marketing of it and the set of false desires we are taught to have. There's no biological reason for women to enjoy pink or blue or purple or green or rainbows more than any other color. I have a big issue with how we're sold gender. Not only is it packaged binarily, it doesn't have any physiological need or necessity. The same thing with long nails. There's no reason for women to have more utility with long nails. They get in the way or they come in handy, but that's the same for men and women. So it's been scandalous in the media to see women, young women especially, not shaving body hair. It doesn't make any sense to me that women's body hair should be seen as less hygienic than men's. I'm fairly certain I wash myself equally as thoroughly when my legs are hairy or not.
Again, that's personal choice. And along with choice comes consequence. If you don't want to shave, don't. It's your body. I don't care. But there are potential consequences that come along with that choice. And it's not about hygiene, it's about preference. In the Western world, hairy women aren't preferred. Now you can be hairy if you want, you're just going to get some negative repercussions from your choice. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. That's just how it is.
It speaks to what I've been talking about falsified desires, about how we've been taught to want certain things. You could say that it's the razor companies is trying to sell us razors, but it doesn't matter how we got here. There's just absolutely no reason to keep these visual practices around. You could go into the history of our gender divide and you could try to find necessity, or you could find historical relevance. You could look at the Victorian era and look at the role of religion. But from my point of view, it doesn't fucking matter.
You just don't get how this works, do you? You can do whatever you want to do, and other people can react however they want to react. Other people have no control over your actions, and you have no control over their reactions. If you care how they react, then you change how you act. If you don't. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too.
It's not about rights. I don't care about rights. Rights don't mean anything to me. Rights are arbitrary. This just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me that I should use my own free will to behave differently based on someone else's perception of what I should be. It's okay that you think that I should be something different than I am, but that doesn't change the fact that I don't give a shit, right?
Honestly, if you don't give a shit, why are you making a video about it? Why do you care? Apparently you do give a shit, or you wouldn't bother talking about it.
Feminism is about men and women having equal rights. So yeah, of fucking course I'm gonna yell if someone treats me poorly based on something I had no control over. And not only something that I had no control over, but something that isn't relevant. And of course that recognizes that some jobs are gender specific. A male prostitute is not going to be a very good male prostitute if they are a woman. You can't take it to the ridiculous. I mean, I want the takeaway of this video to be, get the fuck over yourself. Your gut perception of gender does not fucking matter.
Says somebody who is complaining about things about which they have complete control. Seriously, what's the point of this long, rambling load of nonsense? Feminism is about equal rights? Well, you've got it. Time to move on. It isn't about making bad life choices. It isn't about how other people react to you. It isn't about any of the other crap you've talked about. So why is it in a video about feminism, you're not talking about feminism? This is just another entitled bitch not being happy and thinking the world owes them something. She's wrong. That's not how the world works. It's time to grow the hell up and rent a clue. You know, I'm going to give up there because honestly, she just goes on for another couple minutes saying essentially the same thing. I've found that regressive liberals pull this kind of crap all the time. They aren't happy with the ability to do what they want. They want the world to ride them around on their shoulders and praise them for making whatever decisions they make. And when the world disapproves, they scream discrimination and oppression. They don't know what those words mean. They don't just want equality. They don't want freedom. They want approval. Reality doesn't work that way. You only get approval when you do things that other people actually approve of. You can't whine about not being liked and scream that the world's unfair because your personal way of doing things fails to meet social standards. Either it does or it doesn't. Either you care or you don't. Make up your mind and grow the fuck up.